Hey, welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. As always, thank you for joining me. If you could, like and subscribe, hit the little bell out beside the subscribe button. That way you don't miss anything here at the Big Ranch Show. Well, this is a story that I brought you a few weeks ago, and I wanted to give you an update that just came out of Richardson, Texas, just yesterday or the day before. It has to do with the case of 3-year-old Sherin Mathews, who was found deceased in a drain pipe in Richardson, Texas. Her father's already been charged with felony injury to a child. And apparently her mother, her adopted mother, is now been charged and taken into custody for neglect of a child. And this stems from the fact that throughout their investigation, authorities have discovered that not only did the father basically in a way kill his daughter by supposedly forcing her to drink milk because she wouldn't drink it and choking her to death and then hiding her body, they were also very neglectful of this little adopted girl of theirs that they adopted from India. Sherin Mathews was left alone at home by herself. Just make that clear, alone at 3 years old in her house, while her adopted father, adopted mother, and adopted sister all went to dinner without her. They figured this out through receipts and witnesses that were there and stuff, that the little girl wasn't there. There was no meal for her. And the mother basically turned herself in to authorities after this came to light. So she's been charged with child endangerment and child neglect. And it just goes to show you how disgusting some people really are. I had no intentions of bringing anything else until we found out what happened with the father and how the case came out, because I don't want to be seen as somebody that's just trying to make views off of something terrible. But I just thought I would bring you this video because I wanted to give you the update about little Sherin Mathews. It's a very sad story, and the deeper and deeper that that the authorities dig into it, it seems like this case just gets sicker and sicker by the day. Because not only did this guy, at first, you think, when he finally told the truth, you're like, oh, told what he says is the truth, you're thinking maybe he made a mistake. But this shows there was no mistake. There is a history of neglect and endangerment of this child. The day before this all happened, they left her alone at 3 years old. How can a 3-year-old take care of themselves? They can't. And you left them alone to go eat dinner with your other daughter? It kind of blows a hole in the whole theory, or whole explanation that the family was giving, that, oh, he and his wife loved their adopted daughter from India. They just loved her. Yes, they loved her so much not to feed her, to leave her alone in a house by herself, while they went out and had fun with their biological daughter. People out there, let me tell you, there are millions of people in this country that would love a child, that cannot conceive a child, but would love to have children, who would love to adopt from overseas or even adopt here in the U.S. So if your thought is, oh, maybe I should kill my child, or maybe I don't like this child so much, give the kid to somebody who will love them and take care of them. Not choke them to death on milk, hide them in a drain ditch, and neglect them prior to that. Now, we only have one instance right now of their neglect. But I got a feeling, based on how everything has gone in this story, that these parents, you're going to find a long history. As the deeper and deeper the FBI and other authorities dig into this case, you're going to find more and more about how evil these parents were to this little girl. And I'm not quite sure why this case has grabbed me the way it has. Because you see these kind of cases all the time where kids are either killed by their parents or kidnapped and stuff. And they all hurt me. For whatever reason, they all hurt me. But this one, for some reason, This one, for some reason, just grabbed me. That's the reason I have videos that I've made on it. And I've only made one video over another tragic thing that took place back in my hometown. But for some reason, this little Sherin Mathews, maybe it's the fact of her age, maybe it's the fact that she was adopted from overseas just to be basically killed by her family. And then I find out that her mother was like this, and her mother and father both were neglectful and just left her whenever they would go out with their other daughter to eat. They just leave her at home. Doesn't call a babysitter. Doesn't call nobody. Doesn't call family. Doesn't drop her off at a daycare. Nothing. No. Left her alone in the house at 3 years old. Well, that's all I have for you on this video. It's just an update about Sherin Mathews. I really wish this case had turned out different. I really wish she had just wandered off and somebody else had picked her up and found her alive. I really do. But as it is, the life she was living wasn't, I don't know what to say. Obviously, she wasn't living a life that a child should live. No child should be left alone to fend for themselves at 3 years old when you're off having fun with your other biological daughter. So, to these parents, both of you are scum, and I hope you spend the rest of your lives in prison. Because I know, because of the charges, you're not going to get the death penalty that you deserve for harming this child. Speaking of her father, but her mother, Cindy, deserves to be in prison for the rest of her life as well for the endangerment and neglect of a 3-year-old. These two people are just the most vile scum that you're going to find. Some of the most vile scum you're going to find. Don't give me some line of, oh, they were mentally ill, because that's not gonna fly. So anyhow, thanks for watching, and check back for more, and I'll talk to you later. See you down the road.